Ben, aka Downsize It, and I am joined once again by Social General Rob. And as you can see, his Providence class cruiser, the Invisible Hand expansion pack, came in. Unfortunately, just one of the ships he ordered came in with this piecemeal release that's going on. It's kind of nuts. But we're going to do an unboxing. First unboxing video of the channel. Do it together here with Rob, with you guys, and we're just going to get started. Kind of did a pre-unboxing already just to make sure everything was not broken. And get all the tape off and stuff. So, first thing obviously we'll check out is the ship model itself, as that is what everybody wants to see. If I can get this thing to just use your finger. This is a okay, and then we've got ship itself. Oh, there it is. That's right here. Alright, check that out. And I'll be taking pictures afterwards and having those size comparison close-ups and stuff while I'm doing this so you guys can see. But there is the Invisible Hand, the Providence. I know you can't quite see it as well here. There's probably going to be a picture up by this point when I'm doing editing. But this is a really nice model.
Oh, it's beautiful. Really is.
They just keep getting better and better with the detail on these things.
Paint job's incredible.
Yeah, paint job incredible. The actual modeling, the detail. So, yeah, this is really, really nice. And I will be doing I'll do a comparison to a Star Destroyer, since that's kind of like the standard large ship, you could say, in Armada. So you can get a good size comparison there. And then, you got your standard, all the cardboard and stuff. And you can, give to your cats to play with. So we've got our, unfortunately now, as you guys probably know by now, and I do not agree with this decision, but they do not include command dials or speed dials anymore on the ships, and I think that is a bad decision. I think that is it's a nickel and diming crap, actually, because it's forcing people that are new to the game. For me, it doesn't matter. I have more
for years.
Yeah, I have more command dials and speed dials than I can know what to do with, but I've been playing it for a while and collecting stuff for a while. For new players, this is just extra expense that they're going to have to buy the dial packs, and it's, yeah. I don't buy their excuse why they did it, because it doesn't make any sense in the long term. So, but anyway, it is what it is. So, fortunately for Rob, he's been playing with me for this. He doesn't have to worry about buying dial packs at the moment, because we'll just use mine if we need to.
But obviously I will be using them, trust me, because I will need them.
Yeah, he will need them eventually, so. But unfortunately, that is the thing that they decided to do. And we're just going to get this put together real quick so we can have it sitting on the table. As we're talking about the other things that came in, when we got the model and you look at the cards. And it does come with one of each of the commands and one of each of the raids, and also one of each, of course, of the defense tokens. And it's interesting, it came with, I guess, no, it's not that one. This is for early warning system.
Oh, yeah.
But the blue side, I know why it came in this one, because swivel mount batteries, I think, uses this for what you, I don't think we've used it yet on the channel, swivel mount.
No.
But you use that to mark which side is actually getting the swivel mount. So that's what. We'll get these shields on here, and then we'll set this up in a nice profile there. Again, this has got a great, well, I guess so you guys can see. Its firing arcs are just like an MC-80, the Space Pickle. It goes to the corners, so really easy. Or like a Starhawk, so really easy to get the corners where you can actually get a front and side shot on somebody. It's really easy to double arc with this thing. The 5 shields on the front, 3 on the sides, 2 on the back is a really great shield profile.
Oh, I love it.
I mean, it's actually better than the Star Destroyer, shields wise. Not as much hole, only 9 hole.
Still enough to shoot.
But still quite a lot to chew through. So these Providence ships are going to be tough to take down for sure. They can definitely withstand a lot, especially since they do get the defensive retrofit, and if you get the right title on there, you can get 2 defensive retrofits.
Yeah.
So there's a nice profile, visible hand, and what you're seeing here, this is the carrier version. Because spoilers, the next a video that's going to drop, I'm going to time it to where this drops, and then the next day, the next bat rep you see will be a bat rep featuring this. So we're actually going to play that right after we're done filming this. We're going to play that today, but because of, it'll be like a time travel type of thing. So when you guys see it.
Yeah, this is the carrier version. So
Yeah.
There's a dreadnought version.
Yeah, the dreadnought, I guess, and I'll probably just take pictures of this, but the dreadnought version, just so you guys can see the different, not much of a different attack profiles, but just slight changing of the dice. And the big difference is once we get to the actual ship cards is the upgrade slots and stuff. That's where the main difference is between the 2 ship types. So, speaking of the upgrade cards that come with it, let's actually look at the ships themselves. So we've got the Dreadnought and the carrier versions. And then, you've got the artwork on the back and with the upgrade slots. And I'm just going to also just go a little rant here.
Yeah.
I love the standardized size for the upgrade cards. I don't like they standardize the size for the ship cards. I still like the tarot size for ship cards. Everything's on one side. But again, that's just my own personal opinion. So, because you can have everything on one side with the tarot side. But for the upgrade cards, I love having the bigger size cards. Because you can see things better, you see the artwork better, etc. So, just things here and there. Alright, so let's go over these 2 ship types, and
There'll be pictures up on
there'll be pictures on the screen so you guys can actually see what we're talking about. And we're not just, hey, look at these beautiful cards.
Yeah,
You
you
can't
can't
see
see them. You can see the artwork on the back.
So the Dreadnought is obviously going to be your primary attack ship. It's actually, when you compare, the defense tokens are the same, but the carrier actually is better for anti-squad. It's got 2 black, whereas the Providence only has 1 blue. But as far as like their command profiles are the same: 3 command, 4 squad, 4 engineering. So you could actually run the Dreadnought as a carrier.
Yeah, you could.
Defense-wise, that's where you get the difference. So the Dreadnought has offensive retrofit, as does the carrier, but they also each have 1 officer each. But here's where the carrier is a little bit more defensible. The carrier actually gets a defensive retrofit. So you can put defensive stuff on there, but the Dreadnought does not. But the Dreadnought instead has weapons team.
Right. Yeah.
So you can actually put gunnery teams or ordnance experts, whatever your fancy is based on how you want to kit out your Dreadnought as an assault ship.
Which to me makes sense, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because the offensive ship is showing more offensive retrofits, where the carrier, which probably should not be your most defensive ship, except anyways, should have more defensive.
Now, what's interesting about the carrier is because it does not have weapons team, it means you can't do flight controllers.
Right. I know.
So that is,
That was
if you want to actually really tee off on your squads and give them even more dice to attack with, you might go with the Dreadnought team with flight controllers on it, and a trade-off.
Right.
The bonus to the carrier is it has fleet command. So you can put fleet commands on the carrier. And this is going to be one of your primary ways that you're going to be able to do fleet commands with the Separatists. Also, now here's where the main difference between the Dreadnought and the carrier. They both have ordnance, ion, and turbo laser upgrades.
Right.
So they can both be kitted out for pure death. The Dreadnought gets a second turbo laser upgrade.
Which is, that's nasty.
So this is nuts. The Dreadnought gets 2 turbo lasers, an ion, and an ordnance.
Yeah.
And then a weapons team. You can really kit out a Dreadnought just to go ham on somebody. And looking at their weapons profiles,
You'll see why they can go ham.
yeah, they're not bad at all. You can run this right at somebody if you want, or broadside. They have 5 dice on the front, 6 on the sides, and 3 on the back, which means that their salvo is going to be great. And there's certain upgrades that we discovered. I'll actually find out if they come in this. But that you can actually really improve your salvo dice. It actually changes what your salvo dice do, which is really nice. We'll get to that when we do the upgrade cards. And again, as you guys are seeing the different weapon profiles, it's not a huge difference. Like the front's the exact same, salvo's the exact same. It's just the broadsides that change. You just are getting an extra red dice on the dreadnought as opposed to the carrier. The carrier is what they call, I guess, confetti dice. Or disco dice, where it's basically an equal amount of each range band, so you can't really focus heavy on one side or the other. But it kind of gives you a jack of all trades of all ranges. Overall, I mean, these Providence class ships are built to be your command ship, your flagship, center of the battlefield for sure. Very defensible. They don't quite have the offensive firepower of a Star Destroyer. But they can. I mean, obviously, this is before like a Civil War, but they could definitely hold up.
Oh, I think so.
With the shields and with the hull, and again, when you put certain upgrades on there, there's a title where you can actually have 2 defensive retrofits, kind of like an MC-80. One thing that's interesting is the maneuverability is way off. It's hyper maneuverable at slow speeds.
Yeah.
Now, when you start going fast, though, it's basically just straight. It's a missile. So you start it off as if you want to start off, you can I want to get in range fast. You start off as a missile, then you have to slow down if you want to actually have any kind of maneuverability.
Which, by the shape of the ship, makes sense.
It does make sense. It's like a torpedo or like a submarine or something. So
but
through the water.
Speed 3 is your get middle of the field, basically. And then hope to get down to speed 1 because you're going to want to turn.
Yeah, you're going to want to turn.
Speed 2 is not bad.
No, speed 2 is just like a Star Destroyer or most other large ships. Speed 2 is actually not bad. But speed 1 is definitely, you're only going to be using that just to get in range or maybe just to run the heck away. Once, if you need to. But you definitely would like speed 1 when you get in the mess. So you can maneuver. So, and having 2 clicks as a large ship at speed 1, that's great. Makes it really maneuverable. So, alright, let's take a look at some of these upgrade cards. So we got our commanders first. We got Admiral Trench and General Grievous. And Trench is kind of like a mini Thrawn, actually.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, and we'll just go over these briefly. So Admiral Trench is at the start of each ship phase, you may reveal and discard 1 command dial from this card. And just at the start of the game, you pick 4 command dials. And then until the end of the round, when a friendly ship spends only a matching command token to resolve a command, that ship resolves that command as if it had spent a dial and token of the same type instead. So, the reason why I'm saying it's similar to Thrawn is that you're putting 4 command dials that you reveal, but it's way different than Thrawn, where it's very restrictive based on how your fleet gets benefits. But if you're really focusing on one type of command, or you playing out, I want this command to go off, I want to make sure that my ships have tokens, so that I only want this command, but I want the command and token. I can see Admiral Trench as being one that takes a lot of practice to get down and play well. It's a little complicated, and I think to get to work, once you get it to work, I think you can find high value out of it.
And I think the reason why Grand Admiral Thrawn is different than Trench is because maybe he took some of the lessons from Trench did when they were wars, and that's why he's a Grand Admiral Thrawn, and not just an Admiral Trench.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but
hey, I'm trying to give him props here.
Knowing, who knows? This obviously Thrawn came in after the Clone Wars, but Thrawn probably actually studied all the commanders that fought.
That's what I meant.
In the Clone Wars, and who knows?
So my take on it.
Now General Grievous, he's a fantastic general. Only 20 points.
Yeah.
Cheap commanders are great. And his one is when a friendly ship or squadron is destroyed, you may choose 1 friendly ship or unique squadron at distance 1 to 5 of the destroyed ship or squadron. If you do, the chosen ship or unique squadron may either ready 1 of its defense tokens or recover 1 of its discarded defense tokens in the exhausted state. So basically, you can use as obviously when a ship dies, it's bad.
Right.
But when you have a swarm of vulture droids that are dying, it's actually not that bad.
No.
You can refresh your defense tokens or get defense tokens back.
Yep.
So as your swarms of vulture droids die, your command ships are getting even more defensible. Or your salvos, you're getting your salvo back.
Right.
You don't have to worry about saving your salvo because when your opponent kills a Vulture Droid, I'm getting my salvo back. I'm getting my salvo back at you. So, General Grievous, spoilers, you're going to see him in the video after this one in the debut game with the Providence. And he is going to be a very good commander, I think, and a very annoying one to play against, especially when you have ships. I think salvo's going to be the big one.
Oh, yes.
It's going to be benefiting this. But also, you know, if you had to really spend that brace early, get a brace back for a big ship is huge.
You can exhaust or redirect.
You redirect.
You can get it back.
You get it
It'll
back.
come back as exhausted, though.
Yeah.
But
you can still use it. You still get it back. You can use it. So Grievous is going to be fantastic. You're obviously going to want to run swarms of squads to use that, and that works again with unique squads. So you have a squadron that has a scatter that you spend the scatter all. Now you can get the scatter back.
By the way.
So so fantastic commander. I think he's going to be one of the better commanders for these separatists. All right, so we got 2 officers that came in with the Providence.
These are very interesting.
Yeah, so there we go, the officers. Got some pictures that will be coming up. So we got the TR-99. When a friendly unactivated squadron at distance 1 to 3, while a friendly activated squadron at distance 1 to 3, it gains counter 3. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I was very tempted to put him in there.
If it has the printed counter keyword, it gains an additional counter.
Mm-hmm.
After it performs a counter to all its activation. So if you want basically your squads just to be defensible and hold off, like, say, a wave of enemy squads that might be more deadly to you, like bombers or something, just set these squads out in front, keep them close to ship at 1 to 3 of this guy, and now all of your Vulture Droids have counter 3.
And if they have counter, like some of the Tri Fighters,
they get an additional counter.
An additional counter, up to 3.
Yeah.
It's maximum 3.
No, it's not at max 3.
No.
So I don't know if any. I have to relook at some of the.
No, I don't think they do.
It's not like imagine this was allowed with Shara Bay. Give Shara counter 4. Restricted to separatists, you can't do with Shara.
Luckily.
But that wouldn't be hilarious.
No,
Shara, or broken. Shara got counter 4. But this would be great. Yeah, again, it's just great. You can just send a wall of Vulture Droids and come at my Vulture Droids. They're counter 3ing back at you. And
that's fine.
So, granted, you can't attack normally once it comes to their turn, so you have to activate them. But still, when you're not wanting to use your squadrons offensively, but more defensively, fantastic officer to have.
Yeah, I really wish I had him when I was using my A-Wings. Some of the guys back.
Yeah. So, definitely, again, unfortunately, only separatists, but you can. Yeah. But with the way Vulture Droids are being, combine him with Grievous.
Yes.
Your Vulture Droids are dying, so you're getting defense tokens back. But as they're dying, they're countering 3ing back.
Yeah, and hopefully killing most.
And hopefully. And taking out the squads that are coming in. So great combo with these 2 guys for sure. Then we have Tykes. When you reveal a command, you may place a matching command token on this card. If you do, gain a command token of your choice. Interesting. So when you reveal a command, you gain a token, but you place a token here as well. Mm-hmm. And during the command phase, if you have a command token on this card, you must choose that command on each command dial that is to be assigned to you, and show those dials to your opponent. Then discard that command token. So I think what that means is during the command phase, whatever token is on this card
changes those.
So each dial that is to be assigned to you, I think that's going to be in your planning phase. So when you're planning your next command dial, it has to be what's on this token.
Right.
And I think the reason why it says each is a lot of times you're just planning one command, but there's some critical effects, and there's also some other card effects. Very rare, where let's say you have a command 3 ship, you reveal a command, and say your opponent can actually force you to spend a command, or you actually could use Skill First Officer. You can just wipe out your whole and reset. So if you do Skill First Officer with this guy, he's got a token on there. All your commands have to be activated. So it could be. It's only 2 points. It could be an interesting thing where if you know what commands you want going on your ship, you're going to be just doing one command anyway. You want to get a free token every time.
Yeah.
2 points.
I think it says it's a different token.
No.
So
you can't command token of your choice.
Of your choice. So you could actually change it.
You could change it.
Change it up.
So if you actually really want to get really mental with it, to start, like I know my next command is going to be concentrate fire.
Mhm.
I don't know. You could get really interesting with this. And
him and Trench together.
Yeah.
That would be.
So I've actually, I talked about this in my AMA when talking about the future of Armada with the Wave 10 and Clone Wars stuff coming out. The Clone Wars stuff is going to be high skill to learn.
Oh yeah.
And to master. But once you get it, you can get some really powerful effects on off once you get the experience with all these different card and token and counter plays and stuff going on. It's the Separatists and the Republic, the new stuff is not going to be easy to master, but once you get it down, I think it's going to be very powerful once you can master these new card interactions.
But at the same time, they have commanders in there that doesn't make it where it's, if you're a first time player, for instance.
Oh yeah, well like Grievous?
Yeah, Grievous you can play.
Fantastic first time commander. And a powerful one.
Yeah. And even the officer over there.
The TI-99 is also a fantastic first time.
Right.
You want to learn how to play squads, but you don't have to worry about being offensive. Just use them defensively.
Yeah.
Put Grievous and TI-99 in your list, and
so I think
you're good to go.
Good job at balancing it out, so that way people who have been playing it for years can maybe go with the Trench and the Zeit takes.
Yeah.
Then go a little more advanced or whatever you want to call it.
So next we have the Star Wars Armada Facebook blew up when this was revealed. The thermal shields, you get 2 copies of it in here. Absolutely fantastic defensive card. It can be Separatist or Republic. And that's what the little split symbol means. Medium or large ship only. And while defending after the attacker gathers dice, you may spend 1 brace token. If you do, choose and remove half the dice in the attack pool rounded down. And here's an interesting interaction you got to remember. So you can only spend 1 type of defense token during an attack sequence. So that means if you use this brace and thermal shields, you can't brace after the attack happens.
Right.
So just keep that in mind when you guys are doing your interactions. But this can just be massive because you get to choose what dice they take out.
Yeah.
Which is huge. So if you're getting hit by somebody that's about to throw some black dice at you and assault proton torpedoes, you'll be like, you know what? I'm going to spend my brace. You've gathered their dice.
It's gathered, right?
It's gathered. It's not after modifying. So this does not count concentrate fire. This is when you're gathering your initial pool of dice. You brace, and you're like, let me see those dice. Oh, so let's see. Half your pool. All those black dice, get rid of those. You're not doing your special assault proton torpedo shock concussionist on this attack.
Yeah.
And your opponent, if they had planned to concentrate fire in another black, they can't because now their dice pool doesn't have any black dice in it.
Right.
So this is a very, very powerful defensive retrofit, and I think it's amazing. I think it's awesome. But again, it has that restriction. You have to keep in mind that if you do that brace on this, after the dice are rolled, if your opponent still gets a good hit on you, you can't brace again because you've already spent a brace during this attack sequence.
So what if you got to reroll those black dice and it's a black and red dice ship? Okay, so you get rid of the black dice, right? So put on Ben, because he's done it before, and rolls all reds, let's say 3, and then all come doubles.
Yeah, so it could go badly.
Can't brace that,
but again, it could backfire on you. But I think 9 times out of 10, this is going to save you, especially when you're getting hit by a large, like say, this thing's facing down 8 dice and then some from a Star Destroyer.
Yes.
In the front arc, and you're like, I'm going to thermal shields that, and you're now only rolling, 4 dice.
Right.
So.
And 4 of my choice.
And 4 of your choice. Choice. Yeah. So. No, you remove
choice. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It half rounded down of any dice.
Yeah.
You don't have to pick
just one color. Oh.
So, my Star Destroyer's got leading shots. They got all my blues, so I can't get any rerolls. It's such a powerful mechanic that gives power to the defender. That is very, rare to have that kind of control power. All right, so here's the fleet commands, and as we're talking about now, we can actually have fleet commands in the Separatists where they can do fleet commands. And you get 2 fleet commands. So let's talk about the first one. This one is Separatist only. It's Jedi Hostage. Very interesting. It's like it's sort of good.
And can be sort of bad.
And sort of bad.
But it's not as bad as you think when you first read it.
Yeah. So when an enemy ship declares you as an attack of a non-salvo attack, this card is readied. the attacker gains a raid token of its choice if able. So you don't get to assign the raid token, the attacker gets to pick what raid token they get. But if this thing stays ready, because it doesn't exhaust when that happens.
No.
So if I keep attacking a person with this ship, I'm just going to be full of raids.
Yeah.
And I have to take a raid token until I'm not able. So that means that if I have a raid token of a squadron and I attack again, I have to take a raid token then of an engineering, confire, or navigate.
Right.
And then whatever I take, then if I keep attacking, I have to take another one. And it's just, and if I have you double arced, that means I'm getting 2 raids.
Right.
So this can be pretty handy. But, you know, there's a way for me to counter it as the attacker.
Yeah.
So when an enemy ship at close range reveals a command, it may discard a squadron dial to exhaust this card. I can't use a token, so it costs a lot to get this exhausted. That's an entire squad dial. And if I'm running a squad build, that's could be costly.
Yeah.
Now, when this card is exhausted, when I attack you, you can't spend more than 1 defense token.
Right.
So if I plan it well, and I'm like, I'm going to spend the squad dial. Basically, you're sending over troops to free the Jedi hostage.
Right. Yes.
And it's
really
not,
cool theme.
and it's now distracting everyone on the ship.
Yeah.
And then you unload with your double arc into the ship that has this. They can only spend 1 defense token. This is a very interesting, unique interaction in the game. I like how it's new. It's different.
It's thematic.
It's very thematic. I love how thematic it is, and it's at close range to do it.
Right.
And it means that I'm not activating squads. So if it's a ship I want to activate, I mean, it gives bad choices to your opponent.
Yeah.
But if your opponent's willing to pay the price, it can be really bad for you.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I like the counterplay to this card. It's very unique. This one's interesting. This one's for Republic and Separatists. It's called Hot Landing. This is also Fleet Command. So at the start of the squadron phase, friendly squadrons with Adept gain grit until the end of the phase. Now see, I don't know why this is a Separatist one.
No, unless there's something in the future we don't.
So that's something in the future where droids are going to get Adept?
Well,
Separatists?
for instance, or some other Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Maul.
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess Count Dooku, maybe we might have Maul in this.
Yeah.
I guess this could be a preview that we might be getting Dooku as a squadron.
Right.
So
And Maul, of course.
Maul. Well, maybe Maul. We'll see.
Maybe that's.
Maul would be more set. He'd be more if they did like a mercenary, non-affiliated, because he hated everybody in Separatists by this point.
It just depends.
So yeah. Anyway, probably Dooku for sure. That's probably what this is meant for. So Adepts gain grit. This is going to be great for if you want to just run swarms of Aether sprites, non-named.
Oh yeah.
So now all your Aether sprites have grit. So can't be locked down by just one. So they're your generic Jedi Aether sprites just flying around all over the place. And when a friendly squadron with Adept is destroyed, you can choose one enemy ship at distance 1 to 2 of that squadron, and then that ship gains a raid token of your choice. So basically, the Jedi didn't die. He basically crash landed on the ship and is now messing with the.
He's sabering all over inside. And
so again, a really thematic card.
Yeah, very thematic.
Really like it. It's really awesome. I like it. I think you're going to see this played a lot more with the Republic, of course, especially now because
I don't see Separatists using it right now. No,
not at all right now. But again, could we see preview of again Count Dooku and Inquisitors.
Inquisitors, yes.
Well, no, Inquisitors didn't happen until after. Gosh, I'm trying to think what other bad Jedi in the Clone Wars, like Dark Jedi or Sith.
Well, if you guys come up with them.
Yeah, let me know if you guys, because
yeah.
It's been a while since I've watched Clone Wars, and I don't remember any. I mean, Maul, but again, I don't really see them putting Maul.
Oh, the assassin.
Massage.
Was it
Ventress?
Ventress.
Yeah, we might actually see Ventress in a bad form. She did, spoilers.
Ventress. Well, yeah.
So that's a possibility.
Again, that'll probably be edited in there. Spoiler.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So it'd be interesting to see what future squads they release for Separatists that are basically Jedi or Sith, Dark Jedi, and if they even come up with a generic one,
right? Kind
of like they have with the Republic. So who knows? Potential previews of the future. I like the thematic nature of that. All right, so Then we have an offensive retrofit, B2 rocket troopers.
I like these guys.
Yep.
I looked on.
Oh, wait, hang on. I think I did something. I'm going to go back and fix this.
Oh.
But we'll come back to that.
Okay.
You guys probably already telling me in the comments. We'll come back to it. Hang on.
Jonathan? Okay.
I did something wrong. And I'll make sure to put it in the comments so you guys don't get confused. So, first, B2 rocket troopers. While performing a non-salvo attack against a ship at close to medium range, you may exhaust this card. If you do, the defender gains 1 raid token of your choice. So lots of raid tokens going out with these new cards. And this one is refreshable, so actually I'm actually do this now.
I think there was something on there that says something.
It's not what it says, it's what this symbol means. I got this confused with this. This symbol means that once you exhaust it, it refreshes automatically. This symbol means once it's exhausted, since there are no tokens here to show you how to refresh it, means once it's exhausted permanently. Yeah. Nope.
Okay.
So
Well, that makes sense.
this symbol, a lot of times you guys see this symbol. I don't have an example card. You'll have a little sidebar
ECM.
here.
ECM, I think, is one.
Yeah, ECM is one.
Yeah.
And it'll tell you like a dial or tokens of a certain type that you have to spend to be able to refresh it. Since this doesn't have this, that means this can't be refreshed. So that actually makes this, that explains why it's so cheap, only 3.
Right.
So actually, once someone does decide to use the squad dial to exhaust this card, it's permanently exhausted. And then the ship for the rest of the game can only spend 1 defense token. So,
by the way, spoiler alert,
so
it's good for me to know right now.
Yeah. You'll be seeing this as we try it out in the next bat rep. So again, apologies as I was going through that whole explanation about this thing. I was explaining it wrong. So I do apologize for explaining that wrong ahead of time. But just to keep in mind the difference between these two symbols. This symbol means exhaust. This symbol means it exhausts and readies automatically. The only way to get something like this to be readied is if it has the sidebar and tells you how to ready it. So that would explain why there's only 3 points now.
Yep.
And so it could be a potential liability.
Yeah. Good.
To have it in your fleet, but it's also it depends on. At the very least, you could delay your opponent 1 turn of using a squad command to activate a squad to come in and basically rescue the Jedi hostage. And that makes more thematic since you don't rescue the Jedi hostage and it gets captured again.
Yeah, it's like,
so again, I apologize earlier.
As we're talking about thematics, yes.
Yeah, of me just completely getting this symbol wrong. I'm sure you guys, were about to let me know in the comments, so I'm glad I caught myself. And anyway, back to the rocket troopers. This one is re-readyable. That's what that symbol means. Exhaust ready. And so this just keeps happening every round. You can have it once per round, basically, just giving out raid tokens as you attack ships at close to medium range. If you're attacking a squadron, you can exhaust this card to add 1 die of a color that's already in your attack pool. So if there's 1 squadron that's giving you problems, you can exhaust this, you get an extra die, and see if you can't try to take it out. It's got 1 health left or something.
So the carrier has 2 black, aren't they?
But yeah, the problem is it has 2 black, so you're flacking a squad. And it's got 1 health left. I'm going to send over my B2 rocket troopers onto a. That'd be insane to see this happen.
I know.
I'm trying to chase down an X-wing or something and then take it out. But and I mean, imagine combining this with link turbo laser towers. If you're attacking just 1 squad, you get the double black. Link turbo laser towers add 2 of any color of your choice. Probably add more black. Still not dead or red or whatever. B2 rocket troopers. To even have an 5th dice. Yeah. So you could really combo if you want to go heavy and focused anti-squad because link turbo laser towers against 1 squad. This is obviously against 1 squad as well. So
it's good against those high. Let's see,
high value ones. Yeah.
The arc of the torrents have 7.
Yeah, arcs have 7. You can really whittle down an arc or something like that. So, but this is really great against ships too, just giving out raids.
Oh yeah.
So now this is one I really like. I like this. I didn't realize, I wasn't too read up. I didn't want to spoil myself too much coming into these unboxings. The point defense ion cannons. Non-huge ship only. Can you imagine putting one of these on a superstar destroyer? Anyway, point defense ion cannons. An ion upgrade. Yeah. So non-huge ship only. And this is for any faction, so you can put it on Rebellion and Empire. While defending at close range or distance 1, During the spend defense token step, you may force the attacker to reroll one dice of your choice. Now, this is during the spend defense token step. It's not, you're not spending a defense token with this. You just automatically, if you're at close range when you're getting hit, you can say, reroll that dice. So, and if you're a ship that, you know, maybe put this on a smaller ship, has evades or something, so you can evade reroll, because evades at close range, you can reroll out, and you can use this and reroll this one.
Yep.
So, this not only just is good on, you know, any size ship to force someone to reroll a dice that might be given a bad effect coming in, or it works against squads because it's
bombers. Like if you only have one bomber.
Oh yeah, I mean,
one die bomber.
That's why it's called points defense. This is a huge defense against bombers, especially single dice bombers, because every bomber that attacks you is a separate attack sequence. So basically, you can just have every single bomber that comes in and attacks you, and if they get, you know, that double or the hit crit, reroll. And this happens after you do the bomber command, because it's during the spend defense token step. So in the spend defense token step, the attacker can't modify his dice in any way. So they've already done their bomber command, so they've rolled the blank on the black bomber command, and they got the hit crit. Yay! He's like, no, you roll it again.
And Ben's level black dice is not great.
So it lives up. It really lives up to its point defense nature, just going up against squads. But I mean, it works against ships too.
Yeah.
So this is. I think these are fantastic upgrades, and it's in an ion slot. So it's a slot that you know.
The both can use, yeah.
Well, it's a slot where you don't see defensive stuff much.
No.
I think it's the first ion one that's defensive, and I like how, you know, it just changes. Instead of, you know, I want to be a little bit defensive on the ship. I'm not going to worry about putting an offensive ion on. I want to, you know, really protect my ship against bombing runs.
Right.
Or I'm on a small ship and I want that one extra reroll to assist in my evades to keep my ship alive.
Oh yeah.
So, and you get two of them.
There.
So these point defense ion cannons work really well. I can actually see these possibly being used quite a bit in Rebellion lists.
Yeah. CR90 is Rex.
CR90 Bravo, I think. Yeah, the Alpha does not have ion cannons.
I'm talking about the last belt rep with Rex.
Well, he wouldn't be able to hold that. But it could have to be the proper ship and an ion upgrade. But yeah, CR90 Bravo, I'm pretty sure has an ion upgrade. It'd be great on CR90 Bravos. Anyway, yeah. All right, now for the titles. We get 3 titles. We'll just say that one last because that's when we'll be seeing the bat rep.
Okay.
First one we have, we'll just go on points total. So we have the Invincible. Very simple title. 5 points, nice and average, but you gain an additional defensive upgrade.
Yeah. A. Doesn't matter if it can be A.
Yeah.
Anyone.
You basically get the upgrade slot. So if you got a carrier, which is what this is, which already has one, you get 2. So it's like an MC-80. Or a Starhawk. No, not a Starhawk. Starhawk doesn't get 2. It's the MC-80 that gets 2, I'm pretty sure. If I remember correctly. Is it the Command Cruiser that gets 2? Or the Assault Cruiser?
If not, it'll be the
one of the MC-80s gets double, so you can do like that super defensive. Or on your Dreadnought, because remember the Dreadnought does not get defensive, but if you want to bring the Dreadnought variant and you want it to have some defensive capability, the Invincible title. And now you're good to go. You put those thermal shields on your Dreadnought. Be no more annoying for your opponent. Alright, now for 8 points we have the Lucid Voice title. Treat your rear hull zone's printed battery armament as 3. Oh, that's amazing.
It does actually change.
It does change. It changes the printed battery armament to 3 red dice, and that's important.
Wow.
Because salvos are printed battery. That's why.
Yeah.
So that means if you want to salvo heavy ship, let me keep reading first. The battery armament of your left and right hull zones are each increased by 1 black die and decreased by 1 blue die.
Ooh.
So if you want to build a ship that's focused,
that's a good Dreadnought one.
A great Dreadnought one. Because it could be good on the Dreadnought.
Or pretty bad, actually.
Because you would have no blues on the sides, but you'd have 3 red, 3 black now on the sides. So I mean, if you're going heavy into your black dice, the only reason why I would hesitate on this one is because I just like running leading shots.
Yes.
So I would like to have that 1 blue for re-rolling everything. But if you're not worried about leading shots, having 3 red, 3 black, That is insane.
Yes.
And then you could, with your ordnance upgrade, you depend on what you want to do.
Right.
Because the way these arcs work, you choose to do the rapid reload, so we then have 3 red, 4 black.
Yep.
Of course, you're obviously putting ordnance experts on there to get the rerolls. Yeah, this is a great, and then just combine that with, you now have a salvo of 3 red.
Yep.
So people hitting you at long range, you are salvoing back with 3 red. Combine this with Grievous when you're pretty sure you're getting your salvo back with a bunch of Ultra Droids. I mean, this is a nasty, nasty title. Wow. This is going to be one that's going to be used a lot, I imagine. All 3 of these titles are great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. None of these are stinker titles, for sure. These are fantastic titles. And of course, the Invisible Hand, which you guys will be seeing the bat rip coming up in the next video. That's what Rob's going to be trying out. This is my personal favorite one. It's 9 points. It's expensive, but I think it's worth it. While deploying fleets, if you are in the play area, so you basically have to deploy this ship first, the Invisible Hand first. Yep. Then when you would deploy a squadron with swarms, so Vulture Droids. It's just the Vulture Droids, I think. I don't think your tries have... No, your try. You can also do tri-fighters. Yeah. You don't have 5 tri-fighters yet? You can eventually get 5 tri-fighters to do this.
Yeah,
which would be insane and amazing. But as you're deploying, you can instead then deploy your squad. So this is different than rapid launch phase. Rapid launch phase, you have to set them aside before deploying starts. So you don't get them as deployment sinks. But because you have to have this in the play area, and it's while you're deploying squads, you can use these as deployment sinks, and you're just basically putting them in the Invisible Hand. And
that's it.
You can set up to 5 that way. So this is going to be loaded with 5 Vulture Droids or Tri-Fighters. I think those are the only 2 swarms right now. Then, so that's this start of the game.
Is it
now? No, it doesn't matter. You can put names in there.
Yeah, that's actually more swarms.
Yeah. I mean, you could put your named Tri-Fighters in there. Yeah. I mean, it's very nice. Then, use a squadron command, and this is for the rest of the game. So the first part of this, which is, this is basically like rapid launch base. For each squadron you would activate with this command, you may place one of your set-aside squadrons within distance 1 to 3. You cannot move this activation. If it has AI, increase its AI value by 1.
That's huge.
So that is huge, getting the additional AI. What's also huge is that this is better than rapid launch phase. Rapid launch phase, you can only deploy up to 1.
Right.
This one you can deploy up to 3.
Yes.
Now this is one thing I need interesting, and I don't know. I'll need to actually. We'll go over this in our bat rep. So, I think this means.
Doesn't say activate. It says move.
I'm checking to see if the AI increase is only when you drop the squads, or if it's for any time you activate a squadron command with the Invisible Hand.
Well, the way I looked at it was when you dropped.
Yeah, I think it's when you only drop. I don't think this might have been. I might have misread this earlier, where I thought it. Yeah, because the way I'm reading it, and again, I'd like your guys' thoughts on this.
Please.
So I'm just going to read it again for everyone's clarification. So when you activate a squadron command with this title, for each squadron you would activate with this command, you may place one of your set-aside squadrons within distance 3. It cannot move this activation, so it's the squad you're dropping, and if it has AI, increases AI value. So I think it's only when it drops. Yeah. So, not quite as good as I thought it was when I first saw the preview, but it's still fantastic. So you can do a really powerful Alpha Strike drop with your swarm squads, which will be very effective with the Tri-Fighters. Absolutely insane with the Tri-Fighters, but still good with Vultures too.
Yeah.
So
and Hyenas.
Well, Hyenas, do Hyenas have swarm? Hyenas do not have swarm, so Hyenas cannot be stored in here this way. So, yeah, it's one of those. Let me know if I'm reading this wrong. If there's been an FAQ or what your guys is, the people that are like on, I guess Star Wars Explained or whatever. But based the way I'm reading it, the way it's worded, I think you only get the increased AI when it drops. And I think that's the way we're going to play it in the bat rep.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because how are you going to keep track of which ones the 5i dropped?
Well, no,
well, you know what I'm saying though.
It's because it specifically says, because when it says it cannot move this activation, and if it has AI increases A value by 1, it's specifically talking about when you drop it. So, yeah, it's still incredible, especially if you're going to put 5 tri-fighters in here.
So, again, as we mentioned a long time ago, I've been hooked. So, we might see more fighter packs.
Yeah, Rob is definitely, because Rob was putting together his fleet that you're going to see in the bat rep coming up.
It's so hard.
He was like, no, I want to do this. Oh, wait, I only have 2 tri-fighters. And I want to do, I don't have 2 hyenas.
Yeah, 2 hyenas.
Because he just had, right now he just has 1 squadron pack of each faction and then the core sets. So, I think he's been motivated to buy some extra squad packs. So, anyway, Visible Hand, absolutely fantastic. And especially when you combine this with Flight Commander, where you can move, then drop, it can be very devastating for your opponent as they get hit with this, especially to end a whole bunch of potentially enemy squadrons that you're trying to take out, enemy bombers or something. So,
especially when counters, tri-fighters have counters too.
Yeah, but that's not affected by AI.
No.
But you can just put them in the mix.
But if they're there and they can't move, oh well.
Yeah.
You gotta move into me.
Yeah. And especially, and you combine that, Invisible Hand, combine that then with the TI
right.
99.
I know.
So it's depending on how you want to play. All of these titles, Invincible is fantastic. Lucid Voice, again, just madness. Really good expansion. Again, the only downside I have is just with the entire philosophy now, with not including the dials, because that's just going to be hard for people starting off. It just means more money they have to spend.
Yeah.
But other than that, great upgrade cards, great commanders. This is a good expansion. The ships look fantastic.
They look beautiful.
The new models that come out with are just absolutely amazing. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal models. I hope this makes me, as an Imperial player, hope they maybe do reprints in the future of ships to this level of detail. And even though I have them already, I would still buy them with the upgraded detail. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, especially with some of our mistakes you made with rules referencing, but we got them corrected. Yes. I think we got them all corrected in the video itself.
I'm sure Ben will come up later too.
Yeah. So we will be doing, as Rob receives his ships, we'll be doing an unboxing for each of the new Wave 10 stuff. New Wave ships come as they come in. And Robbie also has gotten his Invisible Hand, so the next bat rep I had to cancel the one I was going to play because I was not feeling well yesterday. But once I can reschedule that, you're going to see Robbie playing with his Invisible Hand expansion as well. So you're going to see a couple bat reps coming up soon that are going to have the new Invisible Hand expansion in it. And again, once the other ships come in, you'll start seeing those as well. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned tomorrow, because I'm going to schedule where this one drops, and then the next day will be the bat rep featuring this ship. So, yeah, that's right. Question for the video, for the giveaway. I was getting into it.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt.
No, it's good to remind me, because again, I was just getting all into this thing. I just completely forgot about the question. So for these unboxing videos, I want to keep the questions relevant to the expansion. So, it's not necessarily a question, just more of like just give me to enter into the giveaway for April for this video, or to get an additional entry. Give me your thoughts on this particular expansion, the Invisible Hand expansion pack. It can be on a particular upgrade card, an overall thoughts, or the thoughts specifically on the ships, that kind of thing. So just going to give me your overall thoughts to the expansion, specifically for the Invisible Hand, and that'll be the question for every unboxing video we do, and I'll just be sure to remember to do it hopefully earlier in the video and not forget to do it. So that is the question for the giveaway for the $50 store credit for the month of April to Admiral Taylor's Ship Shop. And thank you for reminding me of that. And then, again, like I said, coming up next, be on the lookout for the video tomorrow that will be dropping for the, I guess you could say, the inaugural bat rep with Social General Rob, where we feature his Providence. Then hopefully, if I can reschedule with Robbie this week, it might not be until next week, but if I can do it this week, you might see 2 bat reps drop if I can get the reschedule to happen. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, take it easy.